Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Phoibos Voyager version 3. This watch was sent to me for free by chinesewatches.com. I don't have to send the watch back, but you know the deal by now. That's not going to sway my review one way or the other. The full retail price for this watch is $309 US. The watch comes in 6 different colorways that you can see here, and as you can see there are white mother of pearl as well as a green malachite dial for an extra $41, but I think both of those look really cool. I opted for this red kind of fume dial, and I think this one looks really nice. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal, a screw down crown, screw down case back, 200 meters of claimed water resistance, comes on a nice stainless steel bracelet, and it is powered by the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. So Phoibos is a brand that I've been having my eye on for a very long time. I had a really old Phoibos, one of their first models way back when. I really liked that one. Sold it a long time ago. But I've been eyeing them for quite a while. They've got some really cool watches, and so when they reached out and asked me if I wanted to check out their latest Voyager model, I couldn't say no. And man, this thing is great, and it's not perfect, definitely not perfect. So I say we get right into this review. But before we do a quick wrist check today. Wearing my St. Martin SN0103, I believe. Ugh. All their model numbers get me all messed up. 0103, I believe. If not, I will put it down at the bottom of the screen. But yeah, really like that one. Alright, so let's get into the dimensions. We've got a diameter of 38.8 millimeters. Got a thickness of 14.0. 20 millimeter lug width. Bracelet tapers down to 18 millimeters. And back up to 20 at the clasp. Got a lug tip to lug tip of 44.8 millimeters. With the male end links, we got an end link to end link of 49.5 millimeters, and sized up for my 7.5 inch wrist. We have a weight of 163-ish grams. So the size of this thing I really like. You know, it's sub 39 millimeters, the sub 45 millimeter lug tip to lug tip, even with the protruding male end links, it's still under 50 millimeters. I mean, that's pretty good. The 14 millimeters, it doesn't really bother me. You know, that includes the crystal, that includes the protruding case back. I think this thing wears pretty good for its thickness. It hides it well, I'll say that. You do have some nice turn down to the lugs as well. Nice bracelet. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later. But yeah, right now I'm going to go outside and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist. And as you can see, I mean, the size just wears, I mean, it wears perfect. I love the size of this thing. Really nice. You get some decent turn down to the lugs there as well. The ducks agree. And yeah, I mean, it just wears really good. It wears really good. What do you guys think? I love the bezel on this thing, or not the bezel, the bracelet on this thing as well. Really nice. And yeah, it looks good. I can't say it enough. It just looks really good. Let's go get it out into some sunlight though. And here we are in some direct sunlight. Lots and lots of light play off of the bezel, off of the bracelet, off the crystal. I mean, it looks really good. You got a nice sunburst on the dial there, that nice fume dial. It kind of has almost a pinkish hint to it in certain lighting, but it is definitely just like a dark red. But yeah, I think it looks really good. Plenty of anti-reflective coating on it. Keeps the dial nice and legible. I think it looks great. Let's go throw this on some straps. And here we are on a Riche rubber strap. I think that looks really good. Very comfortable. Yeah. I mean, a black rubber on a diver, never going to look bad in my opinion. What do you guys think? And here we are on a suede strap. This one is linked down below. This is the camel colorway for those interested. I think that looks pretty awesome. Yeah, I think that just looks great. What do you guys think? I like the red and the tan. I think that looks cool. And here we are on a single pass seatbelt strap. I think it looks pretty good. This is just a modified one that I got from Pagani Design. I think that looks alright. A little bit too bright on the red, but yeah, it doesn't look bad. It still sits really nice even with one layer underneath it. So here we are on just a simple black ribbed nylon strap. 2 layers underneath the watch there. It does start to sit up a little bit high like this, but still manageable in my opinion. And I think that looks really good. Yeah, I like the way that this thing wears. I really do. It's kind of a strap monster, even with the red dial. What do you guys think? Which one was your favorite? All right, let's go inside, get back to this review. All right, let's talk about the case finishing. And case finishing is done really nicely. So the tops of the lugs here are a vertical brush, as you can see there. Nice and linear, got no issues with that. Flipping it over to the sides, you have a vertical brushing, which I believe is a change they made from version 2 to version 3. I could be wrong, someone correct me if I'm incorrect there. But yeah, now we have a vertical brush on the sides, which is an interesting choice. Yeah, I don't really care for vertical brushing. I do prefer horizontal brushing. But yeah, it doesn't look bad at all, and it's nicely done, I think, nicely executed. So really, I'm not really complaining about it. It's just a personal preference, I guess. Flipping it over to the crown side, you can see we again have that vertical brushing, and then we've got some polished crown guards. The crown on this, really nicely signed crown there, as you can see with the cool octopus logo. I absolutely love that logo. It is so cool. But yeah, nice crown, nice grip, tucks in there nicely, hides nicely. I do like it a lot. I think the case finishing on this is really nice. Flipping it over to the case back, and I gotta say, this is the coolest case back I've seen in a very long time. You get your typical spec sheet around the outside, but star of the show is definitely that octopus. I mean, it looks so cool. It looks really cool. It's kind of a circular brushing, so it has like a radial brushing on it, and I think it looks just awesome. Really nice, very smooth, very comfortable. It's got the typical notches for a tool to get in there if you need to. But yeah, I definitely think this is probably my favorite case back on a watch, period, I think. I just like it a lot. I think it looks awesome. It's such a small detail that you never see, but man, does that look awesome. And let's talk about the bezel on this thing. So the bezel insert, it is the same on all models except for the mother of pearl one has like a silver or white bezel insert, kind of unusual. All the other ones have this black one with white markings. There is a black and gilt one for that one, but yeah, this one is really nice. Really nice markings in my opinion. It is a 12-hour bezel. It's not a typical dive time bezel. So you can track a second time zone with this, which is nice to see. Really cool. It is all fully loomed as well, which is nice. You've got that nice red pip at the 12 o'clock, and that again is on all models. Yeah, I no issues with the bezel insert on this thing. Really nice, deep ceramic, looks good. The alignment is really good as well. The bezel itself, as you can see here, it's a coin edge bezel, but it kind of has some like wider areas on it just to break up the coin edge a little bit. It's all polished, which is unusual, and it kind of suffers because of that. The grip on this bezel is not great, and that is coupled with a very stiff bezel action. So it's pretty hard to turn this thing. Not impossible. It's just hard to turn, harder than I'd like. I'm probably going to struggle big time with these gloves on it. But let's talk about the bezel action. Bezel action is 120 clicks unidirectional. I'll let you listen to it here. Really nice, solid, deep clicks. Very nice. I've got no issues with this other than the fact that it's just a little bit too stiff. They either need to, drop down the resistance or bump up the grip on this bezel, and that would be perfect. As of right now, though, it's still very good. It's just not great. There's absolutely no play in it in any direction at all. It's very solid. I have no issues with that bezel. Let's talk about the crystal on this thing. I'll test it real quick for sapphire. And there you go. It is positive for sapphire. Yeah, it's a really nice crystal. They tout this on their page as having 3 layers of anti-reflective coating on the bottom. I think no doubt about it. They've got really nice air coating on it. Definitely not the best air coating I've seen, but really, really good air coating. I've got no problems with it. It is double dome there. There's no distortion, as you can see. It's a pretty slight double dome right there. You can't really tell, but yeah, it is ever so slightly double domed. And yeah, I think it looks really good. I've got no issues with the crystal on this thing. All right, getting real close, talk about the dial on this thing. The dial is absolutely awesome. I love it. It's kind of got this fume effect, so lighter red in the middle, darker red on the outside. Really nicely done. You've got a printed minute track on the inside. It's a silver paint, and that is done very nicely. As you can see there, no bleed over. Really cool octopus logo there, and then the automatic 200 at 6. Applied indices at all the hour markers. little bit bigger one at 12 o'clock, smaller ones at all the other hour markers, and then you got kind of elongated hexagons here at the 3 and 9 o'clock. I think the dial layout is awesome. You have a nice framed date window here. That date window on this model, it disappears. That red text just vanishes. Yeah, here it looks pretty good, but otherwise, yeah, it just kind of disappears. That red text just isn't bright enough, in my opinion. I think either dark red with a white text would have been better. But yeah, that's just me. But yeah, it does look cool. All of them have color matched date wheels, which is a nice touch. I think it looks awesome. I love the symmetry. I like how nicely aligned it is. The handset on this thing looks really good. I think it might be a little bit short with the second hand. That could definitely reach out a little bit further. The minute hand is nice and big. The hour hand, I think, is actually a little undersized. They could bulk that up a little bit as well. But it doesn't look bad. Nothing on this dial looks bad, in my opinion. Another nice thing about this dial and the bezel insert is that it's all fully loomed. So I'm going to pop up a lume shot right now, and here you can see it against a couple other watches in my collection, and it holds its own. The dial kind of fades a little bit faster than the hands do. The hands hang on really good, but the dial does fade just a little bit just because there's not too much room on those indices. But you can see, I mean, it goes all night long. Even the bezel insert, that even lasts all night long. It's a really good lume, very good lume. I'm happy with the lume, and I think you'll be happy with the lume too. All right, let's talk about the movement in this. So the movement is the Seiko NH35. Here's how this one's been running. It's been running really well for me. I've got no issues with the accuracy of this movement. Yeah, I've got no issues with the NH35 in general. 21,600 beats per hour, about 40 hours of power reserve. It hacks, hand winds. It's easy to work with. It is just a workhorse of a movement. I've got no problems with it. I have absolutely no problems with the movement. Very happy with the way this one is running. It's operated by this 3 o'clock screw down crown, and again, nicely signed. I love that logo there. Plenty of grip on the crown. Oof, pretty smooth screw in and screw out action as well. Very happy with that. You get a nice satisfying pop out of that crown when it disengages from the threads. First position is your hand winding, nice and smooth. Second position changes your date. I'll show you some of the alignment on these dates here, and they do look really good. I've not noticed any issue with the alignment on those dates. They look nice. Third position here will hack your movement, and this is where you set the time. Again, I've got no issues with this. Yeah, really nice, very smooth action of this crown. I'm going to try and screw this in with gloves. Always a trick, but yeah, I've got no real complaints with the NH35. It's great. All right, so let's talk about the bracelet on this thing. So the bracelet is really nice. It is 20 millimeters. It tapers down to 18 millimeters. It is 5 solid links, as you can see here, brushed on the outer links, polished on the inner links. It looks great. It looks absolutely great. These middle links, they're kind of flat. And I mean, they're super fluid, nice and smooth. I mean, very comfortable bracelet. You have screw pins for adjusting to size. I removed one for my 7.5-inch wrist, and you can see here I'm on the smallest micro adjust. So you have 3 micro adjust here. Simple 2-button pusher clasp. Again, really cool logo on this thing. Absolutely love the logo. I can't say it enough. Brushed on the tops, brushed on the sides, nice and thin, nice and thin. Really nice polished chamfers on it as well. Everything is nicely rounded off. The clasp works great, fully milled inners, nice tight tolerances here. I have no problems with this thing opening and closing. It doesn't come undone on me. Yeah, it's a great clasp, very nice. You don't have any quick adjust or anything like that, but you do have, again, those 3 micro adjusts. Really happy with it. The end links on this thing are really nice, very solid in there. I got no problems with that. They follow the curvature of the case really nice, as you can see right there. I mean, just spot on, just spot on. My only real complaint with it is a visual thing, and that's these the polished parts in the center. They're a little bit more rounded than the actual bracelet links, so it does look a little bit funny, but again, not a deal breaker at all in my opinion. It just could be a little bit better. I think the polishing on the bracelet is great. I think the brushing on the bracelet is also really nicely done. Brushed on the sides too. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but yeah, I'm very happy with the bracelet. It's very solid feeling. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. I like the way it wears. I got a good fit on my wrist, and I think you guys will too. So there you go, guys. That is the Phoibos Voyager version 3, updated with a new bezel insert, some new dial colors, and I believe brushing on the sides of the case here. Not sure if there's any other changes, but yeah, I think it's a great watch. Really nice watch. Cool logo. You get 2 years of warranty. It comes in a pretty decent box as well. It ships from the United States if you're in the US. Otherwise, it ships from another location. But yeah, otherwise, this thing is great. I see no deal breakers with this watch at all. Yeah, very happy with the way it is. If you guys are interested in this, I'm going to be leaving a link down below. That is to the phoiboswatch.com. Yeah, go check out their site. They've got lots of cool, interesting dive watches. Yeah, they're great. This one especially, I do like it a lot. Really, really cool. Very happy with it. And yeah, huge thank you goes out to Phoibos Watch for sending this in for review. So let me know what you guys think about this one. Do you like it? You don't like it? What don't you like about it? Yeah, I think that's about it, though. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.